Denver leads the way. A citywide lockdown starting tomorrow. News of the stay-at-home order sends people scrambling for their favorite things, alcohol and marijuana, creating an instant issue and causing the city to ease the order. Let's also look at how soon social distancing could pay off in reducing COVID-19 cases. There's a plan to ease the strain on Colorado's unemployment website. And a school psychologist still keeping kids in the right frame of mind. He's happy to help your kids too. That's next. Lost its mind today. Panicked over the possibility of weeks without alcohol and marijuana, people packed into long lines at liquor stores and dispensaries within minutes of the mayor's announcement that the city is going under a stay-home order tomorrow at 5 p.m. There was such a crush that within hours the city agreed to let liquor stores and dispensaries stay open with increased social distancing as the city goes under the lockdown that the governor will not issue for the rest of the state.
I share with him my concern about, Denver going it alone, and that I'd rather for it to be the state and the metro region. He certainly understood that. But I also understood and respected his position in that, there's a whole state out there that he has to be concerned about, some that have not even seen one case of presumptive positive yet. And so he had to be considerate of them.
Denver's order closes non-essential businesses and directs people to stay at home unless they're going out for groceries or for medicine or going out to exercise with appropriate social distancing. You can see a full list of what is and is not covered by Denver's stay-home order. It's pretty extensive. It's in this article on 9news.com. So that is what is being asked of everyday citizens like you and me. This afternoon, I had the opportunity to ask some of Denver's health experts if they are shifting their strategy in the fight against COVID-19. Increasing evidence out of Italy suggests that hospitals were the main source of passing COVID-19, and they are urging other hospitals to decentralize care, to go to a home care model when possible. Is that something that Denver's exploring?
We are asking patients not to come into the clinics, not to come into the hospital. Call ahead, ask questions of providers. There are lines that are available for those calls so that we can keep as many people out as possible. We are all cohorting anybody who is a positive COVID patient into areas of the hospital. Every hospital in the city and county of Denver is in the process of expanding its intensive care capabilities as rapidly as possible. We are facing shortages of tests and of personal protective equipment, so we are trying to keep people out and not have them come into the hospital. But every single hospital employee at this point is gowned, is wearing face masks so that they can protect both themselves, but most importantly, protect our patients.
It was a pretty wild scene that we saw this afternoon. The fear of no beer for 2 weeks or more, causing people to run out to stock up at some places, crowding in so much tighter than you should be right now during the coronavirus outbreak. Our Chris Vanderveen and photojournalist Chris Hansen witnessed the whole thing.
I mean, it's like perfect image of 2020 pandemic life, I would say.
Let it be said that for some,
Essentials.
Monday afternoon was the moment.
Gotta stock up, man.
The moment the pandemic became real.
Of course, it's weird. I'm 46. I haven't seen anything like this, so I don't know.
Bernie McGrew flew to Colorado expecting long lift lines.
I came here expecting to ski.
He didn't expect to wait in this.
Just keeping my distance.
6 feet apart at best, 60 people deep at most.
People are showing their true colors. I guess I'm one of them. So we just gotta do our part.
Ari Snow works at a next-door Starbucks. He says he's getting paid the next 2 weeks to stay home. He won't need a fraction of that time to contemplate the irony of this moment.
Practice social distancing, and here we all are waiting in line to get into the liquor store. So
For 44 years, this store has occupied this spot.
The mayor announced that liquor stores are going to be closing.
Not once has it seen a day anything like this.
We still have employees to pay. I don't want to let them down. They have to eat, and as a small business, it hurts.
By late afternoon, the city relented, but not after a potent shot of reality hit its residents like a bad hangover.
people are more prone to actually be affected by it once it's on their doorstep and once it's actually affecting their way of life.
You guys have fun?
For Next, this is Chris Vanderveen.
Colorado now has 720 known cases of COVID-19, 72 people hospitalized, 10%, and we have 7 deaths reported statewide at this point. We are in, health experts say, the sharp part of the curve. Governor Jared Polis is not issuing a stay-home order statewide right now, saying that any measures we're taking have to be sustainable for weeks on end. He says people have to be able to endure what we are asking of them. He did order non-essential businesses reduce their in-person workforce by at least 50% at any given time, gave them until tomorrow to do that. Violating the order could come with serious consequences, a fine of $1,000, even a year in jail. Now, the state says that enforcement is going to be handled first through city and county health departments, which would then decide whether or not to call on law enforcement. The state is obviously hoping for voluntary compliance, if for no other reason than law enforcement has more important things to do. So we mentioned that recreational marijuana dispensaries are going to be exempted from Denver's stay-home order shutdowns. It's a real relief for a lot of those businesses, especially the small businesses among them, because of the way that they are also viewed by the federal government.
When you think about restaurants and bars and people impacted by all of this, marijuana industry won't qualify for this at all. The marijuana industry doesn't have access to the SBA loans. They will simply go out of business if they're not allowed to operate.
The state's temporary rule to allow dispensaries to offer curbside pickups to cut down on contacts within stores, that takes effect tomorrow. A second state legislator has tested positive for COVID-19 on the same day that we learned the first state legislator to test positive doesn't really have it. Republican Senator Jim Smallwood of Parker says he's feeling great and is currently in isolation at his second home in California. Back here in Colorado, Democratic Representative Daphne Michelson-Jeannet says that her positive test was actually a mistake. When we talked to her on Friday, it was thought that she was the first state rep to have tested positive. The Democrat for Adams County now says that a physician misread her results. She has a different form of coronavirus. There are many, most are milder. She'd been in self-isolation since she started feeling the symptoms last week. So we have heard your frustrations with the state's unemployment system loud and clear, and we continue to ask questions daily about when we can expect it to function again. Thousands, tens of thousands of Coloradans have tried to go online to file since they suffered layoffs due to the COVID-19 outbreak. That has crashed the state's unemployment website time and time again. The department's asking people who need to file a claim to sort by last name. What they're asking is that if your last name begins with an A through an M, they want you to try and file Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, or afternoon on Saturday. I'm going to repeat that again. It's also in this article on 9news.com. If your last name begins A through M, they ask you to file Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, or afternoon on Saturday. If your name begins with a letter between N and Z, they ask you to file on Monday, Wednesday, or Friday, or before noon on Saturday.
I tried doing it literally like at 10 o'clock at night, at 5 in the morning. I have woken up at 1 in the morning and at 4 in the morning to try and do it, and really nothing. And so this is like my day 4. And I did see on there that if your last name ends in, blah, blah, blah. So today is technically should be the day I would file, but I have not been able to. And I kind of just, at this point, I'm going to try and do it again late at night because it lets me get to a certain point and then it just doesn't let me go any further. And every 24 hours, your saved claim expires. So then you have to start all over again.
In addition to the day of the week system, the state also suggests trying to file during off hours, early in the morning, late at night, and you want to hit the button to save your work and finish later throughout the process, so if it crashes, you don't lose what you've already put in there. 9 inmates in Colorado State Prison System have been tested for coronavirus. 6 tests were negative and 3 are pending. To help alleviate crowding in prisons and jails, people are not being arrested currently for low-level parole violations. COVID-19 has also shut down visitation at the state prisons. The state's looking at adding video visitation. Right now, expensive phone calls are inmates' only real option to stay connected on a regular basis with the outside world. As of today, each inmate gets one free 10-minute call per week. So set aside that real mess that happened mid-afternoon with the rush on the liquor stores and the marijuana dispensaries, an issue that I have to think weeks from now, when Denver is under a stay-at-home order, we won't think about very much. Set that aside, and you have to realize that Denver Mayor Michael Hancock did the difficult thing today, the kind of difficult thing that will inevitably come with criticism. Was Denver ordering a stay-at-home directive the right decision? There's really no way to know at this point. So let's look at what we do know versus what we don't know. We don't know if the stay-home order is going to be enough to slow the spread of the virus. We don't know how the stay-home order's impact on businesses is really going to change what is already a devastating financial situation for so many businesses. We do know that what the mayor is doing is what America's top health experts say is our absolute best chance to slow down this virus. So when all of this is said and done, if the worst that somebody can say about Denver's mayor is that he listened to the experts and followed their advice, that's pretty good. I would hope they will be able to say the same of the rest of us. Social distancing won't pay off instantly. It'll be easy to be discouraged when COVID-19 cases keep growing. Let's look at when we can expect improvement. And how about a little escape?
But I won't, 'cause I'm in control of my actions.
A school psychologist is offering his students and your kids a way to get away. Next. Our next question comes from Jake, wanting to know whether we're seeing a drop in COVID-19 patients coming into hospitals because of social distancing. Now, Jake rightly notes that testing lags behind. So, has a week of social distancing had an impact on the spread of COVID-19 in Colorado? Great question, Jake. I would love to tell you that we could look at what's happening right now with the COVID-19 numbers in Colorado and see that impact, but it's not that simple. 9 Health's Dr. Pyle Coley explains.
So if I were to catch the virus today, most likely I wouldn't show symptoms for an average of 5 days, and some people can take up to 12 days to show symptoms. So similarly, what we're seeing today with the rise in cases actually reflects our behavior from last week or 2 weeks ago. And that's why it's so important for us to socially distance today so that we can really stay ahead of this virus and really try to prevent and blunt the growth of the virus in 2 weeks. But keep in mind that you're not going to see the benefits of social distancing for a couple of weeks. So just, keep your nose to the grindstone and make sure that you keep doing it, because it is going to make an impact just a few weeks later.
It's Monday, and in spite of the cloud cover, temperatures near 60 in Denver, but snow way up high. It is pretty and hasn't really been much of an impact on those traveling that I-70 corridor today. A little moisture coming in from the southwest and a little upper air disturbance just to keep it interesting. Our high today right about where you'd expect at this time of year, and you can just see all of that moisture flowing into Colorado from the southwest, and we'll see those snow showers continue on the I-70 corridor. No advisories for travel or snow. 1 or 2 may push off as rain showers for Denver this evening, with maybe some heavier rain around Burlington and Kit Carson around 9-10 o'clock tonight. Then we clear out. Relatively nice day coming up tomorrow. Some leftover snow showers in the northern and central mountains, but pretty good week of weather to look forward to. Partly cloudy tonight, low near freezing. Tomorrow sunny, warmer, high 62. Nice warming trend till the end of the week, and then Friday's the coldest day of the week with temperatures in the 40s, chance for a few rain and snow showers, and then we spring right back up into the 60s heading into Saturday, Sunday, and Monday of next week.
Thank you, Kathy. Life and death decision came down today, something that has nothing to do with COVID-19. Governor Polis, as expected, signed a repeal of capital punishment and commuted the sentences of the 3 men on Colorado's death row to life in prison without parole. The death penalty was little more than a bargaining chip for prosecutors in Colorado anyway, as our state's last execution was Gary Davis, who was killed by lethal injection back in 1997. I hear you. You're at the end of your rope with the kids at home every day. Help is on the way.
I really wanted to get these videos out because I feel like We just need some kindness right now.
As I tell my toddler, it's okay to have big feelings. And a lot of people are having big feelings right now. That's next. Keeping kids at home in a good routine these days, not super easy. There is a Cherry Creek Schools employee who is trying to bring structure and support back for students. Our Ann Herbst takes a look.
How are you doing right now?
Good, how are you?
You know, hanging in there.
Hanging in as well as we all can.
Adam Parker knows that's how a lot of people feel right now.
It's just so uncertain and just different right now.
Including the kids at the now empty Heritage Elementary School, where he's a school psychologist.
I definitely like to stay busy, and so being at home has been different and tough.
So Adam came up with a way.
It's Mr. Parker live from my house.
To continue teaching.
I've been creating these like week or daily social emotional videos and songs that just to give kids something to look forward to. The response in the comments has been great. Kids saying, hey, here's how I showed empathy this week, or man, my brother really bothered me, but I took a deep breath and I didn't throw Legos at him.
6 videos so far. More lessons to come.
This week, today's first lesson was around anxiety or worries. And it just talked about, here are some different skills that you can focus on, whether it's deep breathing, whether it's just unplugging from the media and putting some music on.
I need to unplug from the media.
If the world is feeling unpredictable, we'll think about
even though we're socially isolated,
that you can
we can still connect with people, right?
Adam's writing simple songs for complex times.
You can call your friends up on the phone.
Lessons for any age.
I think communication, I think talking about feelings is so important right now.
For next, this is Ann Herbst.
Kids or adults at home, not just for Mr. Parker's classes at Heritage. Check out Lesson 3. It's a rap about owning your feelings. There's a link in this article on 9news.com. Shortages. There are the scary ones like hospital equipment, the annoying ones like toilet paper, and a hilarious one next. It's a sign that even in a crisis, Coloradans have standards. People up in Summit County are apparently stocking up on ice cream. And Noni saw a sign that somebody is mad the chocolate went first. Wrote it there in chalk in the middle of the road because nobody wants to scoop out just 1/3 of a carton of Neapolitan. Kent writes in with feedback tonight saying, Kyle, am I missing something? Cities other than Denver are open. Why the panic? Kent, as we have said, preparation is not panic. This is the preparation that health leaders say we need to fight the virus. Other cities, get ready. See you next time.